How's it going, guys? It's Eclipse here, and today we're looking at a gameplay of the S35CA. This is a seal clubbing tank, I'm not going to lie. I basically went down because I wanted to get the third mark on it. I'd already got, well, I've done it now as of the recording of this video, but at the time I didn't even have a single mark in the tank, as you can see on screen right now. Now, this gameplay ended up with me carrying the game at the end, 2 versus 5, but I did have one friendly tank on the team that managed to help me out a little bit in terms of just being spotted and taking some of the fire to be able for me to take them out. But he didn't actually do very much damage to the enemy tanks, and I would have been able to win anyway, I expect, but you know, we can't definitely say that it would have been a Kolobanovs. But this gameplay ended up with me getting 10 kills. It's kind of a bit of a spoiler, but that's in the video title anyway, getting that Pools medal, one that you don't really ever get. I've had 2 in total, one in the T57 Heavy at tier 10, and then one in this thing. Now, yes, you might be saying I'm a seal clubber. Not necessarily really true. I was just going with the caveat that I wanted to 3 mark the French tank destroyers because I'm currently going down that line. I'm at the ARL at the moment. Not particularly a great tank, I'm not going to lie. Whereas this thing is borderline overpowered in tiers 5 just because of the alpha damage of 330. You can one-shot tier 4s very reliably. And with its APCR rounds that get extra pen and extra damage, just make it stupidly strong in game. Now, Pools medal, yeah, you don't get them very often at all, very, very rarely. And I mean, I've played nearly 20,000 battles in total, and I've only got 2, so it's one of those games that you kind of have to have this scenario go really well, and the scenario to be actually right for you to be able to deal damage, and also, like, you know, be able to pick up kills, because if you've got 2 good teammates, then they're going to take the kills from you. If you're platooned, they're going to take the kills from you, unless they're specifically choosing not to shoot the enemy tanks, especially if they're good players. We were platooned for this video, but my platoon mate actually died fairly early on in the game. Yeah, so that kind of allowed us to push out some more damage on the team and get those kills in the end. Now, you'll see where I've come in this tank. It does get maximum concealment, so you get 100%, which is yet again another bit of a broken thing about the tank. 330 alpha damage with the premium rounds, 226 pen with the premium rounds, so you know, tier 7s are going to be able to get penned very reliably by this tank, and you do actually a decent amount of damage too. Now, you can see this BDR doesn't even spot us here as we put 1 round into him, and he still doesn't spot us even when we fire, and that's something you want to be using in this tank, is basically making sure that you put yourself between bushes and use your concealment to be able to deal those stupid amounts of damage. We've picked up, I believe, 2 kills so far, not a load. But it was the first bit of the battle, and that tends to be the hardest point to be able to pick up all of the kills, just because if the enemy team YOLO in, a lot of your teammates are going to be able to shoot him, and you know, you can't be at all 4 flanks at once, or wherever the enemy team are all at once. Whereas at the end of the game, you can kind of push and be the leading force. And actually, we are only on 1 kill actually out of the 5 that have been killed. The DW2 moves into the base, and we secure our 2nd kill of the game. Yeah, so am I seal clubbing? I mean, did I need to get the 3rd mark? No. Did I want to get the 3rd mark? Yeah. Did I play any more games after I got the 3rd mark? No, I didn't. I literally haven't played this tank since. I think I've played 80 games in it. Yeah, I didn't play any more after the 3rd mark. And then, you know, we've moved on to the ARL now. Haven't played any in that, but that's because I'm focusing on doing another season pass to level 100 on a different account, just because I kind of want to play that as kind of a low tier grinding one for you guys to see how we can get on doing that. So yeah, so what sort of things do you want to be doing when you're going for your marks of excellence? And that is just using all of the knowledge that you've got about the tank. Make sure you know everything that you need to about that tank that you're trying to mark. Use its advantages, go to positions where it's going to be good. If you're in a TD that's got no armour, you don't want to be on the front lines, I'm not going to lie. Do not be the one pushing, because you're going to get penned every time. Try and stay in arty safe positions, like I am here. Unfortunately, there is no arty safe positions on this map if you want to be able to actually have a decent game. You want to make sure that you're kind of know when to be aggressive, when you need to be, and also put yourself into situations where you can spot the enemy, because a lot of the time the spotting damage really does boost up your marks. Unfortunately, our controller disconnects here. I just apologise for that. Nothing really happens here. I'm just struggling to get my controller back in. So we put ourselves in the bush. There's still that AMX 40, the tier 4 French heavy / medium / light tank, whatever you want to call it, the duck tank with no pen. And yeah, we've put ourselves in the bush. He's never going to be able to spot us unless someone comes from the side. That, you know, he's still never going to be able to spot us. We actually bounce off the AMX 40, which is really surprising. But, you know, we probably hit a really steeply angled part of the tank. But there we go, we do manage to pick him up at the end. Now, it's not looking very good for us. It's 3 versus 6. Yeah, we've got me as the bottom tier. We've got tier 6 in the game as well. And I think the other tanks are the Churchill 3. So in this sort of situation, I know I need to make sure I don't get penned by arty, because my gun's decent enough to be able to actually take out a lot of the enemy tanks in the game. Artillery is actually a nuisance to this tank, and therefore it's kind of not really a balancing mechanic, because 90% of the time you don't get killed by arty, but it does not take arty rounds at all. So yeah, now when you're marking your tank, I always find that I tend to go for tracking and damage at the same time, and that is basically where you specifically aim towards the tracks, and also making sure that where you're aiming is actually higher on the tracks than you might possibly be before. So usually you will just shoot for the armour of the tank, whereas when I'm going for marks and I'm trying to really try hard and win games, is actually I'll aim for the tracks and where I can pen the armour behind them. Now that basically gives you, you know, your normal damage, but then any assistance damage that happens after they've been tracked boosts up your marks, and that's a key feature in order to be able to get your marks in this game. So you need to get as much assistance damage, and actually assistance damage I found actually makes you go up more than non-assistance damage, especially in tanks where you're not used to actually being able to take assistance damage. So yeah, in a tank, so say like a heavy, if you're aiming for tracks, it counts as assistance damage, and a lot of people don't get it, so therefore it counts a lot more towards your marks percentage. And yeah, it's really good to be able to get a high combined damage. And also, you know, between doing 1,000 damage or doing 700 damage and 1,000 assisted, that's a big difference of, you know, you're dealing 1,700 combined or 1,000 damage on its own. So obviously the damage combined is going to be better. So, you know, even if you sacrifice a damaging shot, you are going to be able to do more damage for your marks overall if you do go for combined damage at the same time. Now back to this gameplay in particular, we are on 5 kills, we've got 5 enemy tanks left, and you know, the Paul's medal is potentially on, and I kind of knew this at the time. I didn't think that many of the tanks on the enemy team were going to really threaten me, except from the artillery, who did have a shuttle, or a couple of shots at us earlier on. And that's the main problem with this tank is artillery. Yeah, and I mean most tanks actually, because they can shoot you from base. They don't actually have to aim that well. It's just RNG whether you get one shot or not. And yeah, that's one of the big problems I really hate about this game is artillery really trying to mess about and just take you out of the game. It's something I don't agree with at all, to be honest. So yeah, at this point I'm kind of moving, putting ourselves and using the concealment, and this is something you definitely need to do, outspot your opponents. In this tank we get spotted and I instantly think, right, artillery's going to be looking straight at me. I want to make myself the hardest target. As you can see, I'm looking up in the air, trying to move, shake about. Don't do a predictable straight line. You want to move to the side, you want to move front, you might want to stop, you might want to do a couple of different things, just to avoid artillery being able to predict where you're going to be in like a couple of seconds. So yeah, now we're actually moved into a bigger bush and we're going to extend our view range to be able to spot anyone that pushes up now. Now, since I get 100% concealment, any tank that's moving is never going to be able to outspot me, if you get my explanation. So we're in a bush as well, and since I have all of the camo perks on, they are 100% never going to be able to spot me in this sort of situation. There we go, we spot the Panzer SFL and shut him down on the move. Unfortunately, the controller disconnects again. Not fun, but we do manage to put it straight back in and get back to the gameplay for you. There's two of us still left alive, the Churchill 3 on our team, and one medium on their team and two artillery. Obviously the artillery are the most threatening thing at the minute. I can take one shot from the medium before I die, which means it will give me some time to be able to aim, and that's in the worst case scenario. More than likely we'll just outspot him anyway. So yeah, we're on 7 kills, one more for a Radley. That's what I was kind of going for this game. Obviously I knew the Pools medal was potentially on, but there we go, we spot the enemy medium tank, we move back right behind the bushes, fire one shot and deal one shot of damage to him, to be able to secure all of the enemy actual tanks and not the self-propelled guns out of the game. Now, something I was really not expecting is the artillery actually came to us this game. I fully aimed there and put a shot right into the AMX artillery, and then the other artillery, the Gorilla, is here. I'm fully aiming. I was kind of expecting the enemy, my platoon mate or teammate to be able to shoot him there, but there we secure 240 damage on the enemy Gorilla, who was badgering us all game. And there you go, this is the S35 CA, pretty broken. Kind of like to call it the hot tub, just because it's so open and ready for artillery to just loop shells into it. But yeah, there we go, 10 kills, a ridiculous damage game for a tier 5. Nothing massive, but it is fairly decent, to be able to put out the numbers that I did. I'm very, very happy, and in that sort of situation, it's really nice. I find the games where you do this much damage is actually the most rewarding bit about playing World of Tanks. Obviously, using your brain to actually put yourself in situations to win games that you really probably shouldn't, and kind of outplaying your opponents is something that I don't get to do that often, just because when someone YOLOs, you don't really have an opportunity to be able to outplay them that much. I mean, yeah, you can, but if someone literally just wants to waste their health YOLOing you, then there's nothing much you can do. So we'll move over to the actual gameplay result screen in just a second. The gameplay result screen is as follows. We did manage to win. We got 10 kills, 2,199 damage and 1,768 base XP on a tier 5, which is, pretty good. I don't think tier 5s particularly have an easy way of getting really, really high XP games. I found that I did like 5k combined in the tier 5 Swedish one, and that was only like 1800 base XP or something like that, where, you know, it's a tier 5 doing 6k combined. That's pretty ridiculous. It'd be a really good game in a tier 7, to be honest. But yeah. So the post-battle results screen coming up in just a second because of the replay system. Unfortunately, you have to actually go back to the log tab. It doesn't come up after the replay, which it used to do. Just another feature that just wasn't well implemented into this update. He, as you can see, 2,199 damage, 204 assistance, mastery badge, no surprise, Reaper medal, Pools medal, Devastator, Pascucci's high caliber. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Top Gun, Fire for Effect, Bruiser, and Duelist. Yeah, managed to pick up loads and loads of medals that game. And there you go, 10 kills. Pools medal definitely isn't something you get every game, and I was kind of quite excited to be able to put myself in a situation where I could carry that much. I was kind of annoyed that the Churchill 3 was still alive. I'm not going to... Not that, you know, I wanted my teammates to die, but, you know, I could have carried that on my own to be able to get the Kolobanos, which would have made it even better. But I am kind of thankful he was there because, you know, just as a little bit of support against the enemy team. And, you know, managed to get a Pools medal, so I can't complain at all. I hope you guys found the video kind of good. Don't hate on me too much for playing the S35 CA. Yeah, I know it's kind of broken, and I'm just going to say that I was clubbing the Seal Clubbers on the enemy team that game. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you'll stick around and subscribe if you want to see some more gameplay. I've got another Pools medal equivalent for you guys to see. It wasn't actually a Pools medal, but I did get 10 kills, but that's just because it's a tier 4 tank, and that will be coming out fairly soon for you. Anyway, I hope you have a good rest of your day. I hope you have a look at some other videos that should be coming on screen or already come on screen right now. You can just click those to go to those. I've got weekly news and also just my most recent video, whatever that happens to be at the time that you watch this video. Thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.